Welcome to day 12 of Python for Beginners tutorial. In day 12, you will learn data structures in Python. In this tutorial, I will delve into the primitive versus non-primitive data structures and lists. Data structures are a way of organizing and storing data so that they can be accessed and worked with efficiently. They define the relationship between data and the operations that can be performed on the data, such as storing data, retrieving data, filtering or querying data, searching data, and so on. There are many kinds of data structures defined that make it easier for the data scientists and the software engineers. In computer science, data structures are divided into two categories, primitive and non-primitive data structures. The primitive data structures are integer data structure, float data structure, string, and Boolean. So we have already discussed about such kind of data structures in the previous tutorials, such as data types and variables. But we will focus on non-primitive data structures. Non-primitive data structures are arrays, lists, sets, tuples, dictionary, and files. Those are the non-primitive data structures that could store various types of data in a single variable instead of primitive data structures. But these primitive data structures could store only one type of data. For example, integer could store integer value, floating point string could store string, Boolean could store truth value. So we will focus on non-primitive data structures such as lists in day 12 of tutorial. Okay, let's go. Lists in Python are used to store collections of heterogeneous items in a single variable. Lists are mutable, which means that you can change their content without changing their identity. For example, lists are declared by using square brackets, let's say numbers, and we use square bracket to declare list, which is list. So the variable of the list is numbers, and this variable could store sequence of numbers in this list inside the square bracket. Elements inside lists are separated by comma. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have list of numbers in this square bracket, and each of the items or elements are separated by comma. And so instead of separately defining each of the items in variable, like for example, x1, y2, z3. Here I have defined three different variables, and I could store those three different values in a single variables by separating comma in square brackets. So this is the way how you could store sequence of items in a single variable. Lists are built into Python, and you do not need to invoke them separately. The other is lists are ordered. So the items inside lists are sequentially ordered. Now let me show you how to create an empty list. Let's say the first step is create empty list, which is, so you use square bracket to create an empty list because there are no items in this list. So if you print the type of this variable empty list, it could determine that type of list object, which is list. So this is one of the type of object or data. And the other is, let's define an example of list of procedures, let's say to create beans recipe. All right, here I have a list of beans recipe procedures, and in these procedures, let me print out the list beans recipe, and I can see that the list of are printed out. Okay. Sometimes we will store information in individual variables. So I have already showed you here, because instead of defining variables individually, so we could store in a single variable with a square brackets separated by comma in a list. But often we will be working with several pieces of information that we wanna group together because of their relationship or similarity. So for example, just data are similar, just listing out the procedures how to prepare beans recipe. So this information are similar. So we can organize together using list and we can store in a single variable. So for example, if we were shopping for fruits, we could store each item we are going to buy in separate variables, or we could store all of the items in one list. For example, let's say fruit A, orange. So in this case, I have defined 5 different variables and store 5 fruits. So because those items are similar, so instead of just storing in separate variables, I could create one variable which is list and store in a single variable by defining a list. So I could define a variable fruits. So this fruits variable could store. All right. Now, the next step is how can we access items from a list? The most basic data structure in Python is the sequence. Items are sequentially organized in a list. So because list is storing an ordered sequence of items, each element of a sequence is assigned a number. It is a position or index. So in this case, each items are assigned a sequence of items which is position or index. So the first item in the list positioned as index 0. The second item is index 1. The third is index 2. The fourth is index 3. And the last is index 4. So we can access the items from a list by using the position of that item. So we use the square brackets for slicing along with the index or indices to obtain value available at that index. For example, if I wanna access the third element from the list, so the third element is found at index 2. Print fruits and so I use a square bracket and I pass the position of the item into that square bracket. That is the index of the item. So this means that this is the third element in the list. So the third element in the list is mango. So this fruit is found at position 2, which is the third element in the list. We can also access more. For example, if you want to access the last element, I have already discussed the negative indexing in the string manipulation. So that is working for lists as well. The last element is the position -1, which is avocado, position -1. And if I want to access, for example, from the first index to the third index, I can pass slicing. And that is the first index is, the 0, the first index 0, which is orange, banana, and mango. Or if I wanna just access every second element, for example, every second element to every second element, the first element is orange, then the second element for orange is mango, that's mango. The second element for mango is avocado. So that is what slicing. This is a stride. All right. We can also determine the number of elements in the list using len. We have already discussed this so far. Len, and we pass the list variable into the len function, and we can determine there are 5 items in this list, the number of elements. I just showed you how to access a single element or a slice elements from the list. But now I want to show you to print out each of the elements in the list. We can use loop for every element in the process. Print that element. It just iterates through the list and started from the first item to the end of the item and prints that element iteratively until it reaches to the last item in the list. So this is a way how you could access or print all elements of the list. That is the for loop. Okay. All right. We could also use another way. Enumerate function is built-in function that help us to obtain the position of the list item as well as the item. So for every I, that is the index and the element or the includes in enumerate function, we pass that root list I into this. Now we could print the index I and the element, the root. As you can see here, the position of the element is printed along with the element. So this enumerate function is very useful that help us to obtain the position of the element in the list along with the element. So the first element is orange, banana, mango, apple, and so forth. The other is we can mutate the list because list is mutable data structure. We can modify the items without modifying the list object. So to do this, let me comment this one. For example, if I wanna remove apple from the list, I can use pop function. Brutus dot pop. So apple is found at position 3, and I pass the position of that apple. And if I print the Brutus again, I could obtain 4 items because apple is already removed from the list. That is the way how you can pop. And the other is without passing the position of the item, we can pop the last element. I mean, fruits, pop. If you didn't pass the position of the element into this pop function, it will remove the last element from the list. If I print fruits now, I have 3 elements only. The last element is avocado, and it is removed because I just use pop function to remove the last element. The other is delete keyword. We could delete using delete keyword. So the delete keyword is delete el, then I use fruits. For example, if I wanna remove the second position 2, now if I print the fruits, yeah, the second position of the fruit is 0, 1, 2, mango, and now mango is removed. This is the second method to remove or delete items from list. The other is updating elements of the list. We could update the elements of the list. So we can, for example, if I wanna update the last element is in the list, the last element in the list is avocado. So I can use indexing. For example, the last element in the list is negative indexing, -1. And I can assign, for example, ananas. Let me print after updating the fruits. Now, the last element in the current list is avocado, but that is updated with ananas. So this is the way how you can update the list items. For example, if I wanna update fruits at position 2 by apple. For example, the fruits are positioned with mango, but now I updated with apple. Okay, so this is the way how you could update the elements in the list. We can also add new elements in the list. To add new elements in the list, we can use append method. So append method always add new element in the last position of the list. So let me process, for example, append was orange. If I print this process again, I could get that orange is appended in the last of the current list process. Okay. So this is the way how you can append, because this append is a built-in list method. So we can just add new elements in the current list. The other is store heterogeneous data, because list is one of the data structures that could store heterogeneous data, different data. For example, let me store heterogeneous data list. Oh, sorry. So this list stores different kinds of data. For example, the first 2 items are integer. The third element is a string. The fourth element is float. The fifth and last elements are Boolean. But the type of this data is list, one type of data. But this variable stores different kinds of information. So this allows us to store heterogeneous data. So, for example, if you determine the type of this variable is list, but this list variable stores different kinds of data: integer data, string data, floating data and Boolean data. And the last, but not the least concept in this tutorial is combined lists. We can combine two or more lists together. That is, for example, let's say list one. I could have 1, 2, 3, 4, and list two. So I can combine list one plus list two. So I could use the plus symbol to concatenate two or more lists. And when I print combined list, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5 through 5.48. The two lists are combined. The two lists are combined together, and I get one big list. And even I can add the first list into the second and third list, and now I get another big list which contains different kinds of data. So the three major defining properties of the Python list are that is ordered. Always you should keep in your mind, list is ordered sequence of data or item, and list is also heterogeneous and mutable. It can be modifiable. Because it is heterogeneous and mutable, the list is very flexible than other data types. We need to be careful about the changes we make to a list because they can be very unpredictable. We could break our code or lose our data. So these are today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comment section of this tutorial, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Hello guys, welcome back to day 13 of Python for Beginners tutorial. In this episode, you're going to learn about Python tuples. Tuples are another standard sequence of data type. A Python tuple is very similar to a list with one major difference. Tuple is immutable, which means that once the tuple is defined, you cannot delete, add, or edit any values inside the tuple. Tuple is also ordered and heterogeneous data structures like list. So this might be useful in situations where you might to pass the control to someone else, but you do not want to manipulate data in your collection, but rather maybe just see them or perform operations separately in a copy of the data. So we can create a tuple using parentheses. Let me print the tuple. So to define a tuple, we use parentheses instead of square bracket. The square bracket is to create a list. So this is called an empty tuple because there is no data defined in these parentheses. So this is called an empty tuple. Okay, now let's list out the data inside this parentheses of the tuple. For example, string data, integer data, Boolean data, and float data. Because tuple is one of the heterogeneous data structures like this, and it can store different kinds of data. For example, this tuple stores in a string, integer, Boolean, and float data. And it also stores ordered sequences of data. While we can retrieve data through indexing because a tuple is ordered, so we can iteratively retrieve data, or we can also retrieve data using indexing mechanism like list. For example, if I wanna retrieve data at index 1, is 31. So I can refer that data using index 1. So index 1 is what's called 31. You can also iteratively retrieve the data from tuple using loop for every item in the tuple. We can print that item that is similar with list. We can define tuples without parentheses. For example, if you avoid these parentheses, and if the items are comma separated, so the Python assumes this is a tuple. Okay, so you can define tuples without parentheses as well as with parentheses. And this implicit tuple comes up with most often when working with functions that can return multiple outputs. For example, we might have a function that returns the first and last letter of a string. So when you call this function, first and last, and then you pass a string, for example, Python lab, result, and going to print that there is the return value. So the first character from the given string is E, and the last character from the given string is B. So this is one function that's going to return the first and last character from the string. In such cases, we will sometimes wanna store the multiple outputs in a separate variables. For example, you can store multiple outputs in separate variables. For example, first car, last car, and I can print first car and last car. Okay, that's E and B. So this is another way you can store, because this function returns two values separated by comma, and I just assign the result in two separate variables separated by comma. So that is called two separate outputs from this function that's gonna be returned. This syntax is called unpacking, variable unpacking. So you can learn more about variable unpacking. So we can unpack multiple outputs in a single line. We can use it with any tuple, whether it was returned by a function or not. So whatever it is separated by comma, that is a tuple. The result is tuple. Whether it is enclosed in parentheses or which is out of parentheses, so that is called tuple. And so in conclusion, Python list and tuple are ordered and heterogeneous data structure. However, unlike the list, the tuple is immutable because we cannot add, delete, or modify elements once the tuple is defined. So in this case, there is no operation to change or modify elements in this tuple, or add new elements in the tuple, or delete elements from the tuple. That is called immutable. We can't modify tuple. But in list, we can modify the elements that is mutable. We can add a new element. We can delete elements from the list. So that is the only difference between tuple and list. Therefore, a list might be better for representing data that is expected to change over the course of a program. So because if you want to change over the course of the program, you can use a list like a to-do list. And a tuple might be better for representing data that is expected to be fixed. If you don't want to change or modify the data, you can use tuple, or like the responses of an individual subject to a survey. For example, the survey response is not be modified, that is fixed. So that is good to put in tuple. So this is what's called tuples in Python's data structure. So I hope you enjoyed this short tutorial. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Write comments below. Thanks for watching. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to day 14 of Python for Beginners tutorial. In this episode, you're going to learn about Numpy arrays in Python. Today, I'm going to explore the difference between Numpy arrays and lists, and I will also show you how to create arrays, accessing array elements, modifying and deleting array elements. An array is a collection of items stored at contiguous memory locations. It is a basic data structure in many programming languages, including Python. Arrays are used to store a collection of data items of the same data type. Each item in an array is accessed using an index like list. In Python, there are two built-in data structures that can be used to store arrays, lists and Numpy arrays. Lists are more versatile and can able to store multiple types of data, such as strings, integers, floats, boolean in a single variable, while Numpy arrays are more efficient for storing numerical data only. To create list in Python, we use square brackets, for example, my list, and we separate the elements inside the square bracket using comma. For example, here is a list of elements, but the list can store different kinds of data in a single variable. But Numpy arrays could store only numerical data. It cannot store heterogeneous data like list. To create a Numpy array in Python, we use the Numpy module and the array function from Numpy module. We first import the Numpy module, and we're going to use the array functions from Numpy to create the array. You can use the alias to shorten the name of the module, and instead of using the module name as it is. Now let's create my first array. For example, my array, and I use np.array function to create a new array in Python using NumPy. Inside this function, I pass the list of array elements in a square bracket as an argument. For example, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 60. These are the elements. The only difference from list in Python is that array only stores numerical data, but list can store heterogeneous data, such as strings, boolean, integer, float in a single variable. That is the only difference between array and list. Okay, so to define a new array, this is the way how you can define new array elements in Python. The next step is how to access elements of an array. Elements of an array are accessed using their index elements, like list. So the first element in the array is index 0, and the last element in the array is index -1. So the index of an element is position in the array. The first element has an index of 0, and the second element has an index of 1, and so on. For example, to access an element of a Numpy array, you use square brackets and the element's index. For example, let's access the first element in the array at index 0 is, I can pass my array name square bracket and refer the position of the element in the array. For example, I want to access the first element in the array, which is found at position 0. Okay, so array at index 0 is 10. So 10 is found at position 0 or index 0. If you want to access, for example, the third element or the element which is found at position 2, so which is 30. First element, second element, and third element, which is found at position 2. So this is the way how you can access array elements using index of the array. We can also print all array elements using log. For example, for every element in the array, you can print each element iteratively using for log. Yeah, this is what called the array elements. Okay, we can also determine how many number of elements we have in the array. So we can use the len function you already know in list. So it works for arrays as well. Number of elements array, len, and pass the array object name. That is 5. We have 5 array elements in this array object. Okay. We can also determine the type of this data using type. So that is numpy nd array. Nd means n-dimensional array. So array actually supports multi-dimensional arrays. This is called a single dimensional array. We are working right now. So you can study further about numerical data manipulations and analysis. So you can work the matrices, multiple dimensional arrays like rows and columns of the array. The next step I'm gonna show you is how to modify elements of an array. You can modify the elements of an array. For example, if I wanna modify the element at position 2, which is 30, by another element, I can use the array name with the square bracket, and I pass the position of that the array and assign the value to that position. For example, 70. Then after modifying the value at position 2 is changed. Initially it was 30, now it is modified to 70. So this is the way how you could modify the array elements. So this is the basic array manipulation in Python. So you can further study about Numpy array, especially numerical data manipulations. Every mathematical operation can be done using Numpy. Numpy is a powerful Python library that used to manipulate numerical data as well. It is very, very powerful, especially if you want to be a data analyst. So you can learn more about NumPy. This is just introduction to NumPy arrays, how to create NumPy array, how to modify, how to access NumPy arrays. So I hope you enjoyed this short video tutorials about NumPy arrays in Python. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Write comments below. Thanks for watching today. Hey everyone, welcome back to day 15 of Python for Beginners tutorial. In this tutorial, you will learn how to find the second largest number from the given array of numbers. This project will cover all the topics from the day 1 to day 14 of Python for Beginners tutorial. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and write comments below, and let's get started. Let's assume we have a list of numbers or array of numbers look like this, and the problem we are going to solve is find the second largest number from the given array of numbers. For example, you can manually find the second largest number. The first largest number is 6, but the second largest number is 5. So we know the second largest number in this array is 5. Here, the first largest number is, for example, duplicated. Even the array is duplicated, we can find the second largest number from the given array of numbers using Python program. Let's go. Let's define a function that's going to find the second largest number. And this function will take array of elements as an argument. And we first sort our array elements in ascending order from the smallest to highest number. That is good because if you arrange or sort the elements from lowest to highest, it will help us to easily identify which is the second largest number from the given array. All right. And now we initialize the largest number. The initial value of largest number, for example, is numbers at position 1. And the second largest is, for example, numbers at position 0. Always the second largest number is less than the largest number. And the largest is greater than the second largest. So when you are sorting the elements in ascending order, so the initial largest number is the second element in the array, and the first element in the array is the second largest. Now we are going to iterate over the numbers for every element in numbers. So in this case, we are going to apply conditional statements to compare the current value and the largest number. If the current I value is greater than the largest number, so that largest number becomes the second largest number. So we make the largest number to the second largest number. We assign that to the second largest because I is greater than largest. And now I is greater than the largest means, so the current largest number is the current I value. So we can make I to the largest number because I is greater than the previous largest number. Okay, this condition is not good enough to perform our tasks, so we will add elif condition. Elif I is greater than the second largest number and I is different from the largest. If we have duplicate values in the list, so this can perform that duplicate values especially, and we can make the current I value to the second largest number. All right, now we have finished our code, and the function going to return the second largest number as a result. Okay, let's call our function. Find the second largest number. We pass the list of numbers as an argument to this function, and let's print out the results of the function. So as you can see, 5 is the second largest number. So 6 is the first largest number, but our problem is how to find the second largest number. So if you put, for example, 7 in this list, so 6 is the second largest number, which is less than 7, but greater than 5. Okay. Even there are duplicate values in this case. Whatever there is a duplicate value, this algorithm will solve only finding the second largest numbers. Whatever it is duplicated doesn't matter. It's just avoid duplicate values and take us the second largest number. And if you put, for example, 8, so the second largest number becomes 7. So if you have any alternative solutions, you can post in the comment section of this video tutorial. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Write comments below. Thanks for watching. Hello guys, welcome to day 16 of Python for Beginners tutorial. In this tutorial, you will learn the dictionary in Python. By the end of this tutorial, you will be able to work with dictionaries data, work with creating, updating, deleting, and adding dictionary data. Python provides a lot of data types like integer, boolean, table, string, tuple, and list. It also provides another composite data type, which is called dictionary, which is similar to the list, that it is a collection of objects. Python dictionary is an ordered, changeable, indexed collection of items. Like lists, dictionaries can easily be changed, shrunk, and grown without the necessity of making copies. Lists versus dictionaries, both are mutable. So the items in dictionary and lists can be modifiable or changeable. Both are dynamic. You can update, delete, edit the items in the dictionary as well as list. They can grow and shrink as needed. So you can delete or add elements in the dictionary and list. Both can be nested. You can nest in the dictionary and list. A list can contain another list that is what is nested. A dictionary can also contain another dictionary inside that is called nested dictionary. A dictionary can also contain a list and vice versa. So lists can contain dictionaries as a nested list, and dictionary also contains a list as a nested dictionary. So the difference between list and dictionaries are lists are ordered sets, while dictionaries are unordered sets of objects. Items in lists are accessed via their positions, while items in dictionaries are accessed via keys. That's the only difference between lists and dictionary. So let's get started. Creating a dictionary using curly braces and dictionary. So this is called an empty dictionary. So each items in the dictionary can be separated by comma. So each item has a key and value pairs. Items in the dictionary can be accessed using the keys of that item. And the whole thing is enclosed in curly braces, look like this. And an empty dictionary without any items is written with just two curly braces like this. If you print out this dictionary, just prints out the curly braces. So this is the output of this empty dictionary when you are printing that dictionary using print statement. So let me show you how to create dictionary with integer keys and print. Create print. The dictionary with integer keys, the key and the value can be separated by colon. So for example, after and another key. So dictionary can be defined with key value pairs, and each value can be identified by the key. And the key is a unique one item has one key to identify that item. For example, this apple can be accessed using the key one, and banana can be accessed with the key two, and so on. So each items in the dictionary can be separated by comma. Let me print this and let's see the output. So the dictionary as it is printed out. And let me show you how to create with mixed keys. So this is what a mixed keys in dictionary. So it's possible to use integer keys or string keys, but each item must be identified by a unique key. So when you print out this, you can see that this dictionary is printed out. Create dictionary with using dict and print. There is another way to create a dictionary using dict function without using curly braces. So let me show you another dictionary. So you can use dict function. The function is like this. And inside that, you can specify the dictionaries. For example, one, right. So when you're thinking about this, it's three. So you can see the same output with the previous one. So you can use either dict function and pass the dictionary into that function, and without dict function, it's possible. While values can be of any data type, so the values of the dictionary can be any data type, and the values can be repeated. So you can repeat or duplicate the values of the dictionary, but you can't duplicate the keys in the dictionary. For example, here, I can duplicate 3 is banana. That's possible, but you can't duplicate the keys in this. For example, let me duplicate 3 with different value. So when you are duplicating that, it's just ignoring one of the duplication. So for example, the second duplication is ignored, which is 3, and it takes the last one. And take only one item when there is a duplication in the dictionary. So duplication is not allowed in a dictionary. But you can duplicate the values. Keys cannot be duplicated, and keys can be unique, that you can uniquely identify the items in the dictionary. And keys must be of immutable type, a string, number, or tuple without immutable elements. So keys cannot be immutable, which means cannot be modifiable, cannot be changed. Next, how can we access dictionary? So while indexing is used with other container types to access values, dictionary uses keys. For example, if I want to access the apple, I can refer the keys in the dictionary with dictionary name, object name. For example, if I want to access apple, D3 object name in square bracket. In the square bracket, I just specify the key. So one is the key, and it just prints out that. And if you change, for example, in the dictionary too, I can refer name. If the key is a string, you can just use a string with quotation. and name is printed out in that key. So the value of that key is printed out. You can also use the get method to access the dictionary item. So for example, if you want to access e2.get, the dictionary object name .get method, and inside you can pass the key, for example, name, and as you can see, the name is printed out. So this is possible, and this is an alternative way to access dictionary items by using the key of that dictionary. The difference between using a square bracket to access dictionary item and get method is that using get method is that it returns none instead of key error if the key is not found. For example, here, I just accessing the element at key first in the dictionary too, but first, the key first is not exist in this dictionary, so it's just throw an error, key error. That is because that does not exist. But while using, and let me comment this, while using get method instead of square bracket, it's just prints out none because that is not exist. So this is the way to avoid getting a key error. So this is alternative method. So possibly you can use this. For example, if you use name, that name is printed out because that exists. All right, let me show you creating student profile. The student has name and the name of that student is, for example, and student may has age, value is integer, and hometown is, for example. All right, this is a student's profile, and if I want to access the student's name, I can print a steady square bracket name, and the name of that student is Asiba. And if I want to access the age of student, for example, age in quotation because the key is 3, and that is 32, and 32 is printed out, and so on. You can use either get method or square bracket to access the dictionary item. Okay, now I want to add new item in the dictionary. If I want to add, for example, student school, I can use assignment to assign the value of that. For example, the school is added at the end of the dictionary item, and this is a new key and with new value. Always when you are adding new item in the dictionary, because dictionary items is a key and value pair, each value must be identified by key. That's why I just use key to add new dictionary item in the existing dictionary. So this is called adding new item. Okay, so far so good. And the other is updating dictionary. You can update the dictionary. So you can use, for example, if you want to update age, I just use the same with adding new item. By the way, if this key is not exist in the dictionary, it's just add to that dictionary. But if the keys exist, it's just change the values of the current key instead of adding to that dictionary. So for example, then you modify that age is 30. You see? In the previous, age was 32, but now I just modified that age, which is 30. So this is the way how you can update dictionary item. The other is you can delete dictionary elements. You can either remove individual dictionary elements or clear the entire contents of a dictionary using clear. If you want to just clear the entire contents of the dictionary, you can use clear method. For example, you print that is empty, no dictionary, because all items in the dictionary are cleared, and it prints the empty because this clear method is just used to clear the entire contents of a dictionary. The other is you can also delete the item from a dictionary. For example, if you wanna delete age from a dictionary, you can use pop method. Pop method is also work for list. Let me show you. For example, age, and when I print out, age is now just deleted from the dictionary. So this is one way to pop any item from a dictionary. You can also deleting a key using pop item. Pop item, for example, item without specifying that. So in this case, we just delete the last element from the dictionary. All right. Now I'm going to show you how access all elements using loop. To access all elements using loop, you can use for loop and key in, for example, STD. This is the dictionary object name, and you can print that std dot get method, and you can have that key to that. So in this case, when you are using this, you are iterating through a key of data dictionary. For example, name, age, compound, and here I added new, that is school. So it iterates through each key, and the loop, in the body of the loop, is just obtain the items based on that key. Okay. So when you are seeing that each items are just printed, iterated without key. So this is the way how you can access all elements in the dictionary. The other is you can use values method to get the value of the dictionary. For every value, for example, in STD, that's the dictionary, and you can use values method to obtain and iterate through the values of a dictionary without referring the key of that dictionary item. So in this case, you can print the value. This is the second way. So you can use either the first method or the second method to obtain each of the dictionary item using for loop. The third method, you can use items method to iterate through key and value pair. So this items method has key, value, and the dictionary name dot items. So this dot items method used to convert a dictionary to a list of tuples. So then you can iterate through the list and obtain key and value from that tuple. So to print that the key, and can separate by colon and value, you can see that each key and value is printed. All right. The other is I just want to show you how to create nested dictionary. Nested dictionary means putting a dictionary inside another dictionary. So nesting is of great use as the kind of information we can model in programs is expanded greatly. So this is very essential, especially if you are working on data. So the data may contain complex dictionaries. So you can understand how to create, how to manipulate nested dictionaries to work on that nested. So the nested dictionary can be created by placing the comma separated dictionaries enclosing within braces. Okay, the first step is create empty dictionary, dict1, nested dicts. And when you are printing this, it just printed the empty dictionary as our output. Okay. Then the step 2 is create empty nested dictionary inside this nest dict. To do this, you can use nest dict, and you can put that as a key, dict1, and assign an empty curly braces. So this is a key in the first dictionary, but that key refers another dictionary. That's what it is. For example, when you print nested dicts, you can see that this one. So this is a key, but this key has another dictionary. This nested dictionary will contain different data, different collection of data. Okay. So this is the way how you can create a nested empty dictionary. Next, let's add element in one at a time. For example, if I want to add name in the nested dictionary, in dictionary 1, so I can use nest dict1, and I just use another square bracket and the key name inside that nested dict and assign value. I mean, the value is, for example, the name. So when you are thinking about this, you see, name is just added in the nested dictionary. This is the key contains the name of the student. So this is what's called creating a nested dictionary with value. You can add more, for example, age, dict1, age, 30. You see, age is added in the nested dictionary. All right. Now let's access nested dictionary. To access nested dictionary, you can use for loop like e in nest dict. So in the nest dict, there is another dict that is dict1 as a key for the nest dict. And I am going to iterate through that dict. So access that nest dict1, and outside there is key. The key refers that, for example, the name and age of that dictionary. Okay, this is the way how you can access the nested items in the dictionary. So deletion, updation, everything is similar with this one. So you can do more and more things how to manipulate dictionary. I hope this tutorial was helpful. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Write comments below. Thanks for watching. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to day 17 of Python for Beginners tutorial. In this day 17 tutorial, you will learn file handling in Python. By the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to work with how to read and write text files in Python. So let's start how to handle files in Python. Let me show you how to create a text file using context manager with a keyword followed by the open function. This open function will take two parameters, the file name that's going to be create, for example, s.txt. Txt is an extension for the file name. And for creating a new text file, you just pass the mode of the file. For example, in this case, I just pass W. W means the writing mode. So this allows us to create new files in the file. And we can shorten this file object as F. So this is a block of code because this context manager function just going to create a new file called s.text, and we're going to write a text inside this file. And we can use f.write function, and we pass the text that's gonna be stored in a file name, ts.txt, for example, hello there. So when you run this code, the file will be created as text with the text hello there. Let me check that file is created or not. Yes, the file s.txt is created, as you can see, and the text is already created in the file s.txt. So this write function will we write the text in the file s.txt. And we can add more texts. Here you can add new line, so every text will on a new line in the text file. So f.write. This is day 17 tutorial, and we can add more line. Okay. When you save this and run this code, you can see that this file is created with the text hello there. This is day 17 tutorial. So here I need to add a new line that separates each of the text in a separate line. Look like this. So this is the way how you can create a new text file with the text. If you want to read the already created text files and display the contents inside that files, we can read the file. So we use the same function to open the file and read the content from that file. But the only difference is that the mode of the file to read instead of write file. So the file name is s.txt, and you change the mode of the file. To create a file, you use W, that is write mode, and to read the file, you use R, that is read mode. Then to read that file, we use a function to read f.read line. So let me store the result in a variable, and let's print that variable text. So the first line is printed, and this read line function is gonna read the first line of from the file. So the first line in this file is hello there, and the other lines of texts are not read and displayed. So because this function is just reading the first line only. But if you want to read multiple lines from a text file, you can use another function which is called read function. f.read. So it cannot just read all lines of text from the text file. Okay. The other is read lines. Read lines, there is S. Here, no S. The read lines are reading the file and stored in a list. Each line of file can be stored in a list, and we can iteratively print for every line in text. Then we can print each of the, here, line here. But in a line, as you can see here, there is a new line, so we have to remove that new lines because that's not necessary. So we apply string manipulation called strip that going to strip the lines or removing the spaces from beginning and ending of the lines. So now each lines of the text are iteratively displayed. So you can use either a read line to read the first line only, read to read all lines, and you can also use for loop to iteratively print the lines of the text file. So this is a basic how to read and write text files in Python, and you can work on multiple file extensions. But the basic is the same. You can use context manager to read write the files. The only difference is the operations that you can apply to read the contents from that file. But if you want to open and write files, you can use the same context manager. So based on this tutorial, you can work on different kinds of files like JSON file, Excel file, CSV file, and work on each of the file types. Because if you want to be a data scientist, so you may have large files in different file formats, and you need to read that files look like this, then you can parse the contents from that file. I hope you enjoyed in this short video tutorials about how to handle files in Python. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and also write comments below. Thanks for watching today. Hello guys, welcome back to day 18 of Python for Beginners tutorial. In day 18, I will show you how to count the occurrences of word in a file. This project will cover all the topics, including dictionary and file handling in Python. So to count the number of occurrences of each word in a given text file, you can use the following steps. Define a function, then open the text file in the text. Create a dictionary to store the number of occurrences of each word. Iterate over the words in the text file. For each word, increment the count in the dictionary, and return the result as a dictionary. Basically, counting the number of occurrences of each word in a given text file is a common task, especially in natural language processing. If you want to work on natural language processing, so this tutorial is very useful. There are several ways to approach this problem, but one of the simplest and most efficient method is to use a dictionary to store the word counts. So let's first define a function that counts the occurrence of each word. And this function takes the argument file name, and then let's define the dictionary, animated dictionary, which stores the counts of each word. And we first open the file. So you know how to handle file is context manager. So I have a sample file name .txt, and I just use read mode to read that file. And then for every line in a file, read each line of the file. If the file may contain multiple lines, so let's define a new words line read function and split. Each line, a single line may contain multiple words, so I just split the line into multiple words and store in a list. Okay, this split method is a string manipulation method that gonna split the sentence into words with separated by space, and remove after splitting into words. It's gonna remove the spaces in the beginning and ending of the word and storing a words as a list. Now I'm going to iterate over the words, and if that word is found in word underscore counters in the dictionary, then it's gonna be incremented by 1 because that word is occurring again, and I just call the dictionary word counters. The key could be that word as a key, and it's gonna increment by 1. That is the value, and otherwise it takes that word and the value could be 1 because there is no occurrence greater than 1. Okay, now it's gonna return the dictionary word counters, and let me call the function, and the file name. Actually, here I can use the parameter file name as an argument, and I pass the file name sample.txt. Okay, then let me print the dictionary word counts. As you can see, the contents are split into word and count each of the occurrence of the word, and create a dictionary with the key is the word and the value is the occurrence of that word in the contents of that file. So for example, counting occurred 1 time, the word the occurred 3 times, occurrences, for example, occurred 1 time, and each of the words are splitted and just created a dictionary. So this is very essential for, especially if you want to work on natural language processing, because every text should be converted, splitted into tokens. So then counts the occurrence of each word in the text. We can also iteratively print for every word and value in word counts dot items. This method is going to convert the dictionary into a list of tuples, and I can print the word is the key and the value is the occurrence of that word. You see? So this is what's called counting the occurrences of each word in a given text files. So this is sample. So you can work on large data to find the occurrence of each words or characters or whatever you wanna do. So I hope this tutorial is helpful. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Write comments below. Thanks for watching today. Hello guys, welcome to day 19 of Python for Beginners tutorial. In this tutorial, I will show you how to develop a command line shopping application using Python. By the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to develop an application that allows us to add new item, view details of the registered item, remove items from the registered details, and also exit the application. So to do this, let's get started. Here is the function that takes a selected menu as an argument, and the function is called in this statement. This is an entry point to the program execution, and the menu is designed outside of that function shopping. And this is just guiding the user to choose one of the menu. Okay, when the user enters one, it allows us to register a new item in the dictionary here. Okay, inside the function, we're going to perform some tasks that are going to register a new item, view details of the item, and delete from registered item. So first define an empty dictionary, and now we are going to use the while loop that iteratively execute until a certain condition is met. So while the user selected menu is different from 0, it's going to continue executing the program and doing something. So if the user menu is equal to 1, which means the user selects menu 1, it's going to allow the user to enter a new item. We can use input function to accept user input, enter new item, and quantity of the item, and we cast that input into integer because quantity is measured by integer number. And the unit price of the quantity, so you can use the unit price. This can be the float, right? Then the total price can be calculated based on the quantity and the unit price of the item. So the total price is unit price multiplied by quantity. Okay. Now we are finished entering the details of the item, and the item going to be stored in the dictionary for later use. To do this, we are going to define nested dictionary, which contains the details of a single item. So we take an item name as a key in the nested dictionary and define an empty nested dictionary detail. Then we are going to register the name of the item, the quantity, unit price, and total price in the nested dictionary here. Okay. So now let's do that. Item. So the name is a key, and we assign the item name to this name key. We can copy this and duplicate that. Okay, quantity. We call the quantity and change this to unit price. that is the value is unit price. And total price, which is obtained by calculating the unit price and quantity of the item. All right, to see the output of this, we can print the dictionary cosmetics. And let's run our program to see that. For example, let me choose one and item name, unit quantity, for example, 3, unit price, $30. You see? So just creates the item is lipstick as a dictionary in the key in the top dictionary, and the name is key for each item. Each item contains the quantity, the name, the unit price, and total price of that. See, so we can reserve more items. Whatever if the user may choose two that display the details of the registered items in tabular formats that can be in user readable formats. Okay, let's go on. So we are going to use, let me comment this for now. We are going to use a lib menu is 2. If the user chooses the second menu, so it's going to just display the details of the items iteratively. So we are going to use the for loop inside this conditional statement, okay? So this is the message which is displayed in tabular format for details of cosmetic items. So you can use /t, which means giving more spaces to make it tabular, okay? Like table format. Then we are going to print the items iteratively from the dictionary, especially from the nested dictionary in the tabular form. Now I'm going to use the counter. It starts from 1 and for loop that iterates through the cosmetics. So here I'm just going to print the items in the dictionary. So item is just this for loop iterates through the keys in the dictionary. So here the key is, for example, lipstick. From that, it just obtain the name in the nested dictionary, the quantity, and the unit price, the total price, which is total price, and it displays in tabular format. So this is a placeholder, so you can read about the string formatting, and this is the format method. This is the counter. It just counts the number of items and display as numbering the item starting from 1 to the end of that. And it's going to increment by 1. The counter is incremented by 1. Okay, and let me finish this program. Next, if the user may choose 3 to delete that item from the dictionary, so 3. So the user should input the name of the item that to be deleted. And we can use delimit function to delete the item. And we pass the key, for example, item name as a key to Cosmetics dictionary. So if the user enters lipstick, it's going to delete the contents under this key. So the nested dictionary contains the details of that lipstick, and all the details of that lipstick can be deleted from this dictionary. And you can print success message. Okay, all right. So if the user may enter different from 0, so we can just orient the user or give feedbacks that the user is incorrectly selected the menu, or the user inputs invalid menu. All right. If you wanna input many items or perform many tasks while the program is running, you can use this option to allow the users to input or continue to input or select menu. All right, I just finished this program and going to run again. Okay, this is the menu. Now let's choose one to enter new item and quantity of the item, unit price, for example, 60. And you wanna continue, please select the menu again. For example, if I wanna view the details, I press 2. You see, this is the detail, the item number, the name of the item, the unit price, the quantity. It is not correctly formatted, actually, and unit price is 60. So here, lipstick, there are 3 lipsticks, so 3 multiplied by a single price is, so the total price is 180. Now let me add more. So still the program is continue executing. Item tool, let me 4. Unit price is 50. And let me press 2. You see, it continue adding the items in the current dictionary. And you can continue adding more items and view the details, look like this. For example, if you wanna delete item 2 from this, and you can press 3 and enter the correct name of the item. So the item is successfully deleted. You can view whether the item is deleted or not by pressing 2. Yeah, the item is deleted. To exit this program, you can press 0. Yeah, the program is exited. So this is today's program. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Write comments below. Thanks for watching.